Hey, welcome back to the Celestial Message. Uh, I had put out a video a couple weeks ago describing what the channel would be about, and I've been postponing making this video because it just talks about so much um, personal stuff, hard decisions, and decisions that I made that kind of led to my spinal cord injury. Uh, so I'm going to try to get through this. Bear with me, I am kind of shy, and it is kind of talking about personal stuff, but hopefully I can get all this out and then we can move on. Um, so yeah, it was 1996, and after high school, I had decided to enlist in the military. I wasn't going to go to college, and I didn't have a full-time job, so I figured it'd be the best thing for me. And I was out west in California for boot camp, and while I was there, uh, I found myself praying at night, which was really weird. Weird in the sense that my family, we always had religion in our lives. My family, or my parents felt it was important, and we would go to church on Sundays, Catholic church. But I was never really too involved in the church. It was just something that we had to do on Sundays, and I kind of left it at that. But while I was in boot camp, I really found myself kind of not regurgitating all the regular prayers, but almost keeping like a diary, or you know, kind of like a heart to heart with God, if you will, while I was in boot camp. And I thought that was kind of weird at the time, but I felt maybe it was just because I was away from home for the first time, and it was my way of staying grounded, and it helped me through. It was a challenging experience, boot camp, but I got through. I graduated uh, and moved on to my first duty station, which was also out west in Hawaii. Believe it or not, yeah, the first duty station was in Hawaii. It was, I think, there was three or four of us out of like 50 people who got their first duty station in Hawaii. So I wasn't complaining, and I was really excited. You know, 18 years old, going to live in Hawaii. Uh, yeah, it was going to be fun, and it was. We got out there. I met some great people. I'm a really social person, so always going out and about, exploring the island. And I met up with some people that had similar interests of going out all the time, and having fun and stuff like that. And we had a lot of great stories, a lot of great memories, and I still keep in touch with some of them to this day. But while I was out there, I made some really um, tough decisions that you know looking back on, I wish I maybe would have not had done. And one of those decisions was trying a drug. It was a big drug at the time. This is back in '96 or '97. Yeah, '97. And the drug was methamphetamines. And this is before all the videos and documentaries of how dangerous that drug is and what it does to you. Um, my, I guess I wouldn't say relationship, but my experience with the drug only lasted a couple weeks, but it was still very strong. Excuse me. The drug was very addicting. Uh, and I'm not trying to glamorize it or anything, but it was a great feeling. It lasted for a long time, but it was more of a weekend thing. And on the second weekend, uh, we doubled the amount of money that we spent the weekend before, chasing the same high, um, and it was kind of frightening because I felt myself really, for the first time ever, kind of losing control, um, to a drug. And it wasn't like I needed it to stay awake, or it wasn't that bad, but I just wanted it because it was such a good feeling, and that addiction kind of grew, and it was only 2 weekends. Um, and so I found myself again praying at night again, out in Hawaii, something like I never did when I was at home again. It was really weird for me at the time, and I never really analyzed it, but it was just something that I did while I was away from home, and I was praying and praying and praying. I prayed really hard, and I was just asking, God for help. Like, I gotta get off this drug. it's really taking control of me, and I felt like I was in a way helpless. I don't know many of you if you've ever dealt with drug addiction. I think this was the beginning stages of it, but yeah, you really feel helpless to the drug, and I knew it wasn't going to lead me anywhere promising, and I knew I had to stop, but I felt like I was losing the ability to do so on my own, if you will. So yeah, I would pray really hard for help to get off the drug. And again, this went on for a couple weeks. And back at work one of the days after another weekend of partying, um, we got random drug tests. Our platoon got random drug tests, and I was one of the people chosen. Um, I could have probably gotten out of the drug test looking back on it now, um, but at the time, I'm glad I didn't, because I couldn't have been able to stay there. Wouldn't have been able to stay there. Wouldn't have been good for me. But I did take the drug test, and I ended up uh, testing positive uh, for drugs. So again, I'm 18 in Hawaii by myself, uh, addicted to this drug that I tried one time, and started using it on the weekends for a couple weeks, and now I failed a drug test in the military. So I was really scared, nervous, didn't really know what to expect. Military law is different than civilian law, so I was just really nervous, and I ended up getting it wasn't a dishonorable discharge that stays on your record, kind of like a felony does, but it was an other than honorable discharge, which kind of uh, eliminates you from the military and any benefits that would come from being in the military. Um, but in a way, uh, I was happy that this happened, because I knew I was getting away from this drug and I was going home. But at the same time, I was really disappointed in myself, because I did like um, the military. I met some great people, and yeah, I was really disappointed in myself for it all coming to this. But in a way, it was kind of a blessing looking back, getting me away from the methamphetamines. So I got back home. Um, uh, and I was able to get a job. I got a car, and things were going pretty good. It was kind of like a fresh start. I was back hanging out with my older friends, from high school, um, and things like that. So things were going good, and I was just working, trying to save up money, and I was, figuring out, what the next step was going to be in my life. And I was home. I got home in March, and I think what was it, June, I ran into a friend, an old friend from high school, while I was getting gas on the way home from work, and he told me he's having people over, and that I should grab a couple, my friends. He knew who my friends were, and that I should swing by if I was, not doing anything. And I thought it'd be a great idea. I called my friends up, and they were all for it. So we went over there, and this is, like I said, the end of June. It's a Saturday, and it was a real muggy day. I remember, because I had, like thin pants on and a shirt, but it was just muggy and sticky, and I'm trying to stay clean off the drugs from what happened in Hawaii and things like that. And I'm having a couple beers, and I ended up using that night. It wasn't methamphetamines, but I used cocaine that night. And again, this is also hard to talk about. I can't believe I'm saying all this on a video that I want to put on the internet, but again, I'm just hoping that hopefully this helps someone, and it kind of leads to my spinal cord injury, because it was that night that I went to take a dip in the pool, and I didn't feel like I was inebriated or anything, but I was probably definitely under the influence. I saw a couple at the other end of the pool, and they were standing in waist high water, so I assumed the other end was the deep end. And I took my my light pants that I had on, I had chunks under it, folded everything up, took my watch off, dove in the pool, and I hit my head on the bottom of the pool, and I heard a snap noise, kind of like if you go underwater and snap your fingers. And it wasn't the first time that I hit my head. I wasn't bragging about this, but we had a pool. Uh, I don't know, for about like 6 years, and I'd hit my head a couple times, and nothing happened. This time was just different. I must have hit it at just the right angle, to maximize the compression on my spine, and I heard that snap. There was no pain, and I remained conscious. But I just remember looking at the bottom of the pool, like, what the hell am I going to do? I couldn't move. I was trying to, tell my left arm or right arm to move forward to kind of tell myself to swim. I didn't think I was that uh, inebriated to forget, but I thought maybe that was the case, but it wasn't. I wasn't moving. And I was probably looking at the bottom of the pool for maybe like a long 10 seconds. I had no fear of drowning, um, which is really weird looking back on it. Um, like I said, there was people at the other end of the pool, and he ended up coming down. A gentleman, and he lifted me up, and he's like, "What's going on?" And I looked at him, my eyes were really big. Excuse the cars; they raced up and down our street back there. But he lifted me up, and he asked, what was going on. And I looked at him, my eyes were really big like this, and I was like, "I can't move." And he's like, "Oh yeah, right." He thought I was joking, so he lets me go. And I took a big gulp of it was like half air and a little bit of water. And I was back underwater again, and now I'm kind of nervous, like, "Oh shit, what's going on?" And I think when he let me go, that I didn't move, that I wasn't joking, so they got me out of the pool. Ultimately, saving my life, saving me from drowning, but it wasn't, the lifeguards, you know, neck brace type removal, if you will. And the doctor went on to say that, I broke my fourth and fifth vertebrae in that in that dive, and I sustained a lot of neurological damage just due to my head moving around and not being stabilized when I was moving out. And looking back, I had no regrets about that because I would have, had died if they left me in the pool. But I had surgery, and I was told, I was going to be, my diagnosis was quadriplegic, um, basically some form of paralysis in all four of my extremities. And luckily, I was able to move both my arms, but from the wrist down is paralyzed, and it was really a hard pill to swallow because I'd never really broken any bones in my body up until then, uh, which is crazy to me. So I thought, you're just in the hospital for a little while, you heal, and you go home, and that's obviously not the case. And learned a lot about, neurological damage and things like that, and my paralysis. I was in rehab for about, I went June, and I got out in October. So that amount of time I was in rehab, trying to maximize my independence and also trying to figure out how my new life was going to be. And this was an original, like I said, I never experienced anything like that. It didn't just affect me, it affected my family. We ended up having to move. I have two brothers. It was just a lot to take in, you know. But again, uh, looking back on this, I feel like it was a real, and this is hard to say, and it's going to sound kind of crazy to some, but looking back on it, I feel like it was a real answer to my prayers, um, keeping me away from drugs and, you know, that path that drugs may have taken me had I not, you know, been injured like I was or as severe as I was. Um, and it was a really a difficult time, to say the least. Being in the hospital, being in rehab, and learning how to do that stuff. You know, the stuff that I could do, I had to learn how to, write my name and things of that nature, uh, all kinds of things. But I just wanted to get this first video out, and it was probably the most difficult one just because I was sharing all those really personal stories of the drug use and things of that nature. I figured out how to open the chat or the comment section under the videos. So if you ever have any questions about the video, or maybe if I left something out or you want me to clarify, please let me know, and I'll try to address those questions as soon as possible. But yeah, it was just a really trying time, and I feel that the prayers what really it was almost like they were answered. And like I said, it wasn't a religious person. It was just something that I did when I was away. Being at home before I had the accident, I don't even really remember praying at night like I did when I was excuse me, when I was away from home. Again, it was just something that this accident occurred, and it literally isolated me from everyone, and making those decisions to you know use drugs. And I'm grateful for it now looking back, because I think it really helped me uh, stay away from even a darker road that I could have went down had I been using drugs regularly. And who knows what could have happened. But it really kind of opened my eyes and allowed me to see life from a different perspective. So yeah, I'll end the video here. And like I said, if you do come across the video and you have any questions after watching it, please let me know, and I'll try to address those as soon as I can. And after this, we'll discuss like rehab and learning to live with a disability, and things like that. So I hope this video gets out there and reaches a lot of people. And again, I hope it helps in some way, shape, or form. So take care, and I'll see you guys soon.